To the hill. Hail, hail, the Celtic are here, and what the hell do we care now? It is a Wednesday night, the sun is out, and it's a midweek game where Celtic are travelling to Aberdeen. We're going to the land of the sheep lovers. We're going to Pittodrie, which we all know what that translates into in Old Gaelic, and we are set up for a very surprising Celtic team. Now, I'm just between screens at the moment. Fist bump to David, who was in here nice and early. We do have a scouting video. It's ready to go. A little bit delayed today, guys. I've been absolutely ran off my feet, but it's getting set up and primed as we speak right now. And that'll be live on YouTube probably almost immediately once we finish the preview show that we've got today for Aberdeen versus Celtic in the penultimate game of the SPFL, as we are doing our kind of victory lap of the country, now as champions. And this is also a bit of a dress rehearsal for us to potentially go on eventually to crown the treble Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup final in a matter of days, I suppose, at this point. So a very interesting game. We have had the press conference from Brendan Rodgers out yesterday, I'm sure, and we got some quite revealing little tidbits of info. Normally when we do these preview shows, we're looking at trying to predict the Celtic team. We're looking at the preview of the opposition that we're going to be playing and how we expect the game to go, what could be the key factors that decide the fixture, as well as going through score predictions, man of the match shouts. And what we mean by man of the match shouts here is not who wins the award, but who writes the headlines. Who's the headline maker? It's maybe what we'll start calling it now. So if you're joining us live, fist bumps to you guys. Let it be known in the live chat. Drop the fist bumps, say hi. Hit the like button, of course. It just means YouTube knows we're having a good time here, and they'll put the stream out to some other jungle gyms, some other Celtic fans around the world. And then hopefully the live stream gets a bit busier and we can all have a little bit more fun as we preview the game. And this is the closest preview to kickoff I think we've did in a while. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. We should have a good sense of what's going on and everything else. And like I mentioned already, the scouting video is waving its way through the internet right now. It will be live probably as soon as we finish up. Depending on rendering and stuff like that. It shouldn't be too long, guys. But it'll definitely be out before actually Aberdeen versus Celtic. And it's an absolute doozy. I won't spoil what it is and what we look at. I had a lot of fun making it, and hopefully you guys have a lot of fun watching it, because the comment section on the scouting videos has been absolute fire. Tommy, David, of course, good to see you. Chris Patterson, my man. We don't want too many changes tonight. Well, let's see what Brendan's been saying about that. Monty, of course, good to see you, my man. Fist bump on arrival. I think the best place to start with this, right? We're not going to watch the Brendan Rodgers press conference together. I'll kind of what I want to do first of all is look at the tail of the tape, look at our head-to-head with Aberdeen sort of this season, because at the beginning of the year, this was somewhat of a not necessarily a threat, but a team we were certainly looking at as could they be second, could they be title contenders and whatever. And on a side note, it's very quickly forgotten that was the vibe around Aberdeen earlier this season. And let me know your takes on this one, guys. But I was saying this to anyone that'll listen to me, really. But I think Derek McInnes to Hearts is a serious move. I'll say this to you guys now in the chat. You can give me some back if you want. But 2 to 3 transfer windows, Hearts are ahead of Rangers for me if McInnes works out, which I think he will. There we go. As a nice wee title for the video. But yeah, I wanted to start off with the tail of the tape. So this is the last game we had against Hibs. Nice convincing win. 5 subs used. Kenny and McCardle getting minutes. And we can chat about those elements coming into this one. The last time we played Aberdeen was at Paradise. We beat them 5-1. Arnie Engels with two assists here. McGregor on the scoreline. Jota back in the building. McCowan and Yang from the bench being effective as well. The last time we played them before that should have been in Pittodrie, and it was. We won 1-0, and this was the game where who scored it? Taylor off the bench for Alex Valley. I remember that. I think this was horrible weather. and Valley looked like a wee boy. That was, this was beginning of December. Valley had probably the end of his Celtic career this game, to be honest with you, but Taylor off the bench with the assist, Hitate, of course, with the goal, and a 1-0 win. Kyogo Furuhashi, one of his last matches in the hoops, I think, by all accounts. And the time before that was a 2 each draw, the game of two halves, if you remember. We went 2-0 up. They came out swinging, brought it back kind of level, and then it kind of petered out from there. We had a goal line clearance from Trusty in the last game. We had a goal line clearance from Valley in this game as well. Hitate and Furuhashi with the goals on that one. Overall this season so far, if I can click into it, there we go. If we look at flashscores.com, big fan of flash scores, you'll see right after we had the draw in the league, we spanked them 6-0 in the League Cup. Quite a convincing performance. Last season, we knocked them out the Scottish Cup after extra time or penalties. I forget what it was, but there it is there. Last season, in this fixture, the last time we travelled to Pittodrie in the league, it was a 1 each draw before, previously beating them 3-1 earlier in the year at Pittodrie. So I don't think we've got a bad record against them or whatever. They are a better team at home than a lot of other teams we play against. But yeah, we have not lost to Pittodrie. Ooh, quite a wee while, by the way, guys. We have not lost at Pittodrie since 2016. Let's click on that match for a wee bit of banter. Johnny Hayes and Church. I think I remember this kind of team with Kenny McLean in midfield. Shea Logan, Shinnie, McGinn, Brown, and Reynolds. Remember him? We had Griffiths, we had Armbomb, we had Mackay-Steven, Boyata and Sviatchenko in at centre back. What a team, by the way. Throwback or what, by the way? Beaton and Brown in the engine room. That was the last time they beat us at Pittodrie. So interesting to see that. Hail, Ryan. Good to see you, my man. Tommy as well, of course. Michelle, good to see you live and loud with us. Let us know any of you are making the trip to Pittodrie. What's the next country for the scouting video? I don't know if I want to ruin that, Liam. It's uploading now as we speak. It's winging its way through YouTube. Yeah, it'll probably be ready by like 20 to 6. I'll maybe flip it on right as we end the show. I just need to type stuff and whatever, but I can do that after it goes live. And you guys that are here live can probably just spring right into that if you fancy it. But I don't want to ruin that, Liam. I don't want to ruin that. It's a league where I do mention in the intro, if you were to make a top 5 Celtic signings, maybe a top 10, but probably a top 5 Celtic signings, you would probably get 2 players out of this league. Definitely 1. Top 10, maybe 2. Top 5, maybe 2, depending on your POV. Well, Quinny, that means according to those fans, they are going ahead of us. So Hearts are winning the league. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Honestly, I think I've seen a lot of Hearts fans are upset with the McInnes thing. And I'll say this for you guys. You guys know me. I'm quite level-headed when it comes to the football aspect of this, right? But Derek McInnes is one of the best domestic recruiter, one of the best domestic managers that I think is around Europe at the moment. If you look in you normally get these guys like McInnes in like Italy and Germany and whatever. They never really break out of their geography, but they're always like good managers, get teams to a certain level or whatever. In Scotland, that dynamic is a little bit different because it's just obviously the Glasgow teams and then everyone else. Aberdeen team should have done better, of course. I think we would all agree with that. But McInnes can recruit. There's just every Aberdeen squad, every Kilmarnock squad. I've always been impressed with some guys that he's just unearthed out of thin air that have been profitable players for their team, effective on the pitch. And when you marry that up for me with Tony Bloom's outfit, where like they're going to do a lot of shit as well, of course, but McInnes will not only be learning from that, but complementing it. I just don't see how it doesn't work out. There won't be in Europe next year either, Aberdeen. As soon as the thing is confirmed, I'm putting a tenner on Hearts second until it happens. But yeah, good to see you all anyway. And let me know your thoughts and feelings on that. Because I've said that to some Celtic fans and they've like speaking to me like I'm being Judas or whatever. So let me know thoughts and feelings, of course. Now, if you caught the press conference for Brendan, he was rather he's been quite clear in the last couple of press conferences of like saying we're going to rotate. Some young guys have earned their spot. We're going to give them their chance. And, it's important for players to adapt to playing away from Celtic Park as well as at Celtic Park and whatever. We've already been told that Sinisalo is going to play. So Schmeichel's going to get a wee rest. He's going to be left at home. And he also told us in the pre-match press conference, now I missed this for fantasy football deadlines, So I've got 4 teams absolutely screwed, and it's all my big best teams. Dyson Maeda is in Glasgow as we speak. He's not travelling to Pittodrie. It just had a wee niggly thing, so they're just going to leave him. I don't believe that. I think it's proper gamesmanship where they're not going to tip their cap or show their hand to Aberdeen at all, who are still going to be pushing to get the victory, to get the points here, because Aberdeen at the moment, oh wow, I've just went to check the table, but it's shown me the table from the last time they beat us. And, by the way, they weren't that far behind us. Is that a Derek McInnes team? Let's just put that back on screen for a second. I didn't mean to do that. But if Boyata was in the Celtic squad, you've got to think that was a McInnes lineup, wasn't it? Will we see it down here? Yeah, McInnes. And so, look, I went forward here. I thought I was checking the league table for this season, but that was for the season in question. 8 points behind us. And I know we did shit here, 76 points, right? But that's before the split. Can we see after the split? No, probably not. But anyway, let's actually have a peek at the table for the now. Are Aberdeen still fighting out for something? I think they are, yeah. So they're super motivated coming into this one. They've got a cup final. They've got third to try and get onto and secure fourth, not let Dundee United catch them. So very, very big game for them. With only 2 games to go, 6 points available. Dundee United, technically St Mirren, but probably not. And Hibs, very much still on Aberdeen's radar. So they'll be throwing the kitchen sink at it. Make no mistake about that. But with Brendan telling us already there's no Dyson and we're going to be playing Sinisalo, and with the comments we got pre-Hibs, does make you think there could be a lot of changes, there could be a lot of rotation. Now, we know Alistair Johnson is back in the fold, so I think he's going to get these minutes. We might see Ralston come back at the weekend. I wouldn't rule that out. But I think for this game, away at Pittodrie, Ralston is going to drop out and we're going to get Johnson in. Now, at centre-back, it's pretty interesting because we actually had Trusty play on the right-hand side of defence. Normally, when Trusty and Scales have played together, Scales has been the one to be square peg in the round hole. But I think this kind of shows the development of the internal squad dynamic that we've seen across this season for Trusty and Scales, where Brendan's saying if you're playing together, we're keeping Scales in prime spot because Scales is the one that is on the ball, that actually gets up the pitch with it. Whereas Trusty, he's handy on the ball. He's better than Vickers on the ball, I would say, in terms of passing range and lanes he can hit, passing lanes. But the main thing for him is recovery pace. So I think you lose less putting Trusty on the right than you would with Scales. So I quite like that. Does that take Naroki out of the picture for this? Because if this is something we're going to try and hone, because this might be an option that we need to exercise at some point, probably not this season, of course, because we're kind of resting Carter Vickers. But imagine next year Vickers gets injured, we sign another centre-back, they don't work out. You might need to play this partnership, and I think the manager will want that quite ironclad. Away to Pittodrie feels like a good testing ground for where Scales and Trusty are currently domestically. Of course, we've seen them play together, and in Europe to great success. I get all that. I get all of that. And that's why, whenever I've been kind of like, I think Hearts will beat them, people are like, fucking McInnes or whatever. I get that. I'm with you. I'm not wishing them well, but know thy enemy. Monty sitting on the... sorry, I kind of got 7 Scots on that lineup. Will we see that again? Oh, the Dyla team. Yeah, I think we could. Maybe in 2 seasons from now, I could imagine something like that. Oh, guessing the Portuguese league. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or you're wrong. Now, I think Monty, we'll talk about transfers in so the transfer scouting video that goes out today will be the last recording that we have right now. Next time at this time next week, we'll do it live. And what we're going to do is we've got 101 players now on the shortlist. We'll try and condense it down to 25 or something. We'll do that live. You guys in the chat can contribute as well this time next week. So notification bells and all that jazz as well, of course. But I think if people have got this sentiment going around that Hatate has done his time, it's jail or something, community service, and he's going to be gone. If that happens, I think we go for Lennon Miller. If that doesn't happen, I don't see it happening. You and Boy Martin from Dunoon, love to hear it, mate. I was in Dunoon recently. Been in Dunoon twice the last 8 months for my holidays with the kids, a staycation and all that. It's not really praise. It's just he has consistently done what I believe he's good at, and that is recruit a good team. make them tough to beat, get results they probably shouldn't. And I think with that, Hearts kind of behemoth that they're maybe building. I'm not saying, like, think about Man City, right? And I've supported Man City since 99 when they beat Gillingham. It's a long story. I'm not going to go into it, right? But I know from watching Man City, like, super close, like, their progression, like, when those Dubai owners came in, it's the same with Tony Bloom and whatever. But when those Dubai owners came in, they knew they wanted Pep Guardiola straight away. But when Pep Guardiola was, where he was when they straight came in, he was at Barca with Messi and all that. You're not going to get him. They hire Mancini for reasons, an Italian, build a defence and whatever. And then by the time they need a manager, I think Pep had just taken up at Bayern Munich. So it was like, oh, you're not going to get him out of there. You get Pellegrini. It's a similar style. And then when the right guy was available, they got him and they brought him in. And I'm not saying it's going to be as grandiose as that with Hearts, but I think the first step of that, get McInnes in, make it as top flights, the best version of a Scottish team that you can. And then the next manager will unify it. I don't know if that's the word, but turn it a bit more European. And I think he will be I think he'll be good for them. And yeah, chat is firing off. And we'll get into the team a little bit. I see some shouts for Kenny and all the rest of it. And my missus is in IB fin, it's raining. Well, get her back to Glasgow. It is scorching. And yeah, I'm looking forward to all the transfer chat, guys. Hunter's Quay, that is it. That's exactly the place. August last year and then this Easter break. Kids love it there. And I'm a big Scottish scenery guy. And there's some good drives about there, so I quite enjoyed it. But defence is if Naroki gets minutes, right, it's one of two things for me. It's either a little bit of shop window, a wee bit of highlight reel footage for him and his agent to go and try and get himself a move in the summer, or it's like we're keeping him and we're not going to buy a defender in the summer and we're going to have Naroki, Vickers, Scales and Trusty as our four. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't hold my breath on that. I think he's going to go Trusty, Scales. I don't think we see Naroki in the team here. And left back, like, I think there's more of a chance of Schlupp starting the weekend than away at Pittodrie. Taylor, like we mentioned before, off the bench for Valley, was very effective at Pittodrie before, has been there, seen it, done it. It could be a good test for Schlupp if you're weighing up still the possibility of keeping him as a backup to KT. I think his fans were all kind of turned off from that idea now. But it'll be interesting to see what the manager does. But ultimately, I think it'll probably more likely be Taylor. And I can see Schlupp and Ralston starting at fullback at the weekend, for example. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but you guys are flying away today. So thanks very much for all the interactions, guys. Thanks for jumping on with us live. I really appreciate it. If you are here live, please do hit the like button. It just tells YouTube we're having a good time. And they'll probably send the stream out to some more Celtic fans, some more Tims, some more Jungle Gyms. And then we'll get the chat really firing and we'll get some great content and some great suggestions in here from you guys as we preview the match. Let me know what you think of the defence. Do you have much change from this? I don't think there's going to be too much. Because there will be change elsewhere in the team, I feel. Also, we know Dyson won't be playing. And I think Rodgers limits the amount of changes, the amount of attrition that he has between games. And, he's already alluded to the fact he's looked at the final and then he's reverse engineered the team selection between now and then. Considering our model 4-year, I agree. Like you can't grudge them. It's kind of like Trent Alexander to Real Madrid, isn't it? Like if Hatate and Maeda, wherever they go, you can't really, like they've served their time. They've been good transfers for us. If we make money off them, to the extent we all hope, then there can be no ill will. But both those guys are impossible to replace on our transfer budget, quite frankly. Cham Beach is lovely too. I'll look out for that. I went to Portavade, or I can't say it. If you've not checked that out, by the way, it is lush. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Infinity pool and all the rest of it. It was minted. Lovely sunny weather. Highly recommend it. Yang, keep or sell. Now, I think Yang, and not to get into too much transfer chat just yet, this is more the sort of stuff I want to do with you next Wednesday a wee bit, but it depends what we do. I think you keep Yang in the building until like the last week of the window, and then you know what you do with him. If we can get the sort of targets, if he doesn't have a right sharpered upward trajectory in pre-season, I would loan him out, maybe even sell him style. We did with just cash in on him. I wouldn't be against that if the recruitment has been there. But if the recruitment isn't totally there, or we put our resources into different positions, I'm really happy for Yang to do the same job next season that he did this season. Ultimately, and yeah, I agree. Maeda, like the only teams that will be interested in Maeda for me is like Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and then maybe like Leverkusen, Dortmund. Those types of like top end domestic teams in top 5 leagues, probably Champions League caliber. He might not be their number 1 striker, but he'll definitely be in their top 3, play all the games and rotate and subs and all the rest of it. Can play different positions and whatever. So I think, yeah, huge transfer fee. And Hatate, yeah, might be a bit of a anticlimax by comparison. Kosam, yeah, I'll probably need to get into that in a bit more detail because I'm quite conscious of time because we're coming up close to the game. But let me know what you think about the back four and the goalkeeper. Now, I think McGregor starts this one again, and we'll probably see McGregor come off at 60, 65 like we did at the weekend. Now, if he is going to do that, is it for Bernardo? Is that what we're now grooming Bernardo into being, is being the backup to McGregor? And like we've long said on the channel, out of the current midfield department, he is the closest thing, including McGregor, to like a 6 that we actually have. Although he's like a 6.5, I would kind of say he's a wee bit, get 8 tendencies, like to go a wee bit box to box, but he's not got a final third presence, Bernardo. He can crash, he can run. We've seen him up there. We know he can do it, but he's not Hatate. I wouldn't even say he's Engels attacking wise. I think Engels is much more prolific in attack. So I think this is a difficult one to weigh up. Does McGregor start in place of Engels, and then maybe later in the game McGregor comes off for Engels or something like that? I don't know. I think McGregor's nailed on to start. I actually think Hatate is nailed on to start. And like we've seen before, McGregor, we spoke about this before the Hibs game, Brendan does like the 3 wee guy midfield. McKibben was really nippy off the bench, had a really powerful shot. And, you know, if Engels is to lose minutes, I think McKibben is probably next in line for this. And then we've got Bernardo handcuffing the McGregor position, where McGregor can play the first 60, get the job done, and then get on the bench, wee man, chill out, and let's get Bernardo some minutes. So I'm still quite torn. I'm in the same place as what I was pre-Hibs, I suppose, with the midfield. There's some school of thought that says Engels and Hatate maybe come out all together and Bernardo McKibben come in. It'd be interesting to see. I'd be more interested in it being a bit more maybe in like this, McGregor getting the Engels role or the Hatate role with McKibben, with Bernardo in behind. And I'm sure in open play we would see that. But if it starts from the normal position of McGregor being that anchor, that metronome, it's half-baked, you know, because Bernardo is still going to have advanced positions where he gets on the ball and then he's not going to be McGregor quality in executing it. So that's something I'd be interested in seeing, but I don't think it'll happen. Could this midfield shape up McGregor, McKibben and Bernardo? Very probable. It's probably the best way of putting it. But if we can dive back for a second into the lineups that we've played before, and I'll need to double check the cup one because it's not on my data site here. But the midfield 3, when we beat them 5-1, Engels, McGregor, Hatate. The midfield 3, when we beat them 1-0 at Pittodrie, was Bernardo, McGregor, Hatate. There you go. Could see that again. Tried and tested. And in the 2-2 draw, Engels, McGregor, Hatate is who started. And then if I can double check that cup fixture, but on a separate tab, you won't see it. But I'll let you know. The midfield 3, of course. 6-0 in the League Cup. Lineups. And the midfield 3 was Engels, McGregor, Hatate. So maybe there's actually less of a chance of the 3 wee guy midfield in this one because the midfield has always been Engels or Bernardo with McGregor, Hatate. So yeah, really strong shout, I think, for Bernardo maybe to start this one. Although I do think it should be McKibben if someone's going to come in for Engels. But yeah, Bernardo is a strong candidate. But yeah, I think I'm probably going to stick with this because I do think it'll be a case of get the job done. Start with this midfield and then bring on McKibben and Bernardo and roll from there. Because we know Dyson's been left at home and that really, like, look at the forward line, guys. What do we do here? We know Ida's starting. We know, and Ida, we've said this before on the channel, and I think we're on to something. Ida is better when he's nailed on. If he knows he's playing every week and he's not like, oh crap, I better do great in 60 minutes or I'm going to get subbed. Those are the kind of games where he doesn't do great. But the matches where he knows he's the man, he's playing, he needs to score the goals, I think we get the best out of him. Now, Nicholas Kuhn at the weekend was a bit of a surprise, didn't play the whole game, of course. And I would have thought he would have rested this one had Dyson not been left at home. But I think with Dyson being left at home, Kuhn almost guaranteed to start this one, but won't finish it. I think it's going to be much better to see Forrest off the bench to get his 16th goal in 16 seasons in this game rather than starting him. Now, Forrest has been really effective on the right. His left foot delivery has actually improved a lot over the last couple of years between Ange and Brendan Part 2. And obviously likes to cut inside. But I do think what we've seen from Yang across this season, and particularly in the last game or two, when he does come on, he's just much more direct. He's much more front foot, and he's much more ambitious at getting to the box. And I think that'll be the front three that we start with. Is there a space for Kenny to start this game? There is, probably, because this could be like the testing ground for Kenny. Can you do it at Pittodrie? This is the ultimate test, essentially, because you're probably, if everyone's fit and available, not going to play a derby match from the start. It'll be from the bench. So this is like the highest caliber of opponent Kenny could play, essentially, in the hardest venue, which would be away from home. So, yeah, there's a space for it. I think if we did see Kenny, we would also see Bernardo and McKeown, to be honest with you. But I think this is going to be a case of the bench is going to relieve the rest of the team. Because if we do start with Kuhn, Ida, and Yang, Scales and Trusty in defence, Johnson coming back in, Sinisalo, you're getting a little bit of rotation in here without losing the competitive edge of the team. And I think ultimately this is going to be the way it goes. But then we only have Forrest and Kenny. So they're probably going to be the two attacking subs. We've then got McKeown and Bernardo to sub for midfield. And then again, we're probably going to get a youth prospect off the bench. It could be McCardle again. It could be Bonner. It could be Turley. It might even be somebody like a Donovan, the fullback. I've got a high opinion of in the B team. I think he's only 17 years of age. So I think that's probably the way it's going to go. Quite similarly, when I look at this midfield, I actually can't imagine this midfield starting, although it feels like it just feels like what will happen. But with what Brennan's told us, it could easily be Bernardo and McKeown. Do we see Engels from the bench in a game like this? Yeah, maybe. Does the manager want to start Engels and Hatate at Paradise? Yeah, I think he could. Yeah, I see. I'm maybe talking myself now into McKeown and Bernardo because similar to Carter Vickers being kept for the final game and in the cup final, same with Schmeichel, same with Dyson, there might be an urge to do the same with one or both of these guys. Let me know what you guys think, by the way, because I'm really jury's out for midfield. I think the rest of the team I'm quite comfortable with my projection for it. And the chat is flying away. John, thank you very much. Very high praise indeed. Very thankful for that. Please accept my sincerest thanks from that. Really appreciate it, mate. And yeah, some of the chat I'm not quite following. Street Shitter, good to see you, of course. Hail, hail, Moan the Hoops. They want to give him at least 5 to 10 minutes to keep up the record. Yeah, I think Forrest gets 30 minutes. I see it. I think, sincerely, the agenda is going to be win the first half, start the second half strong. McGregor and Kuhn, off you come. Forrest and midfielder, on you come. And then Kenny and the other midfielder are the second subs with the youth player, is how I'm reading it. But again, I don't see Engels, Hatate and McGregor starting. They should play the reserves. I don't mind that, John, because I think they want to keep their cards close to their chest for the cup final. And Aberdeen, you want them to blow themselves out here in this match against us, and at the weekend they're pushing for the European spots we mentioned before then leading into the final. So I don't think you want to drop the edge too much. You really want to push Aberdeen all the way. Next time you're in Dunoon, Borough Bar on Queen Street. Colours allowed. Nice. I'll remember that. Borough Bar. Oh, nice. Didn't know Axon went. Oh, maybe I did know that and I've forgotten. Schlupp, Bernardo McKeown, midfield. McLaughlin P. That is out of left field, mate. Imagine that would be a good audition for Schlupp. I think because McGregor gets subbed off at the weekend, I don't think there's any chance he doesn't start this one. I think, I did think that because did Dyson get 90 at the weekend? I'm sure he did. Yeah, that did make me think he was going to be sketchy for this one. But then the thing with Dyson is he plays every freaking minute. So that's what made me balance off it before missing the news before the deadline. But yeah, this is how we're set up. Now, if we ever we peek at what Aberdeen are looking like coming into this one, because Jimmy Tilleen has won some plaudits and some fans in Scotland this year with his performance. I think there's a few people after a second string here, Monty, to be honest with you, and I get the gamesmanship behind it. But this is how they're looking to line up. They've got their first choice goalkeeper back fit and available now, Mitov, the Bulgarian number one. So he's back in the nets for them. Normally quite a handy keeper against Celtic from his St Johnstone days, as well as at Aberdeen. At right back, they've got their new signing, who I thought was a midfielder when they signed him in January, Alexander Jensen. We're then looking at Dorrington and Nonster. Dorrington and Noster. The Noster guy I'm not too familiar with. Again, I think he was a January signing. They're playing at centre back from the looks of it. And then we've got Shinnie and at left back. Just to smash Kuhn, probably. The midfield, they're looking like playing Palaversa and Clarkson. Now, by the way, I've said to you guys, you know already from when I've previewed Aberdeen in the season already, I'm a big Palaversa fan. I actually think he's a really good player and should be highly effective in this league. He's been good, but he's not like been utterly undeniable. Shaden Morris on one wing, Kiskinen on the right. These guys have been effective against us in the past, getting in pockets of space, counter-attacking, etc. We featured Kiskinen on the scouting series when we looked at Scotland, along with Guy and Nisbet, who look like they are to be in a 4-2-3-1 shape, but will probably be acting as a 2 up top to start the game. It's hard to know because they do like their double sub at half time. As you can see, they've also got Oakles. McGrath is back fit and available. We signed a pre-contract, of course, with Hibs. Daba, the boy from Palestine, could play up front, as well as Dante Polvara could play in midfield. And Nicky Devlin is at 60-40 to play right back. But I think for the most part, this will be the team that they've got. And they will. The thing with Jimmy Tilleen is he wants options from the bench. He does play that game a 2-halves attempt. And I think if they start off like this, it's going to be quite similar to the other league matches we've had with them, where the defence are going to be very hard-nosed and hard to break down. This Jensen, and we've seen Shinnie play midfield before as well, they're not going to be really looking at width. They're going to be looking at being compact and tight here. And with Clarkson and Palaversa, these guys are really clever ball players. Have we? Have we? Who's linked us to him? Very highly rated. Very highly rated, that wee guy. Not who I thought it was when I first read that. Oh, Alan Devine, love the shout here. I can't see Aberdeen playing a full deck tonight either. Really? Oh, no. They can't get caught by Dundee United. McLaughlin P. I'd be buzzing with that. He wasn't the guy. I thought it was a Poku that's in Holland. Is it AZ or there was another Poku? I thought that was. But this guy, I think Peterborough have always got a good striker coming through, don't they? I did apply for the first team job. Let's see what happens. The first team analyst, I applied for it. Let's see what happens. Not holding my breath. Thought it'd be fun more than anything. No, not Sadiq. No, there's a guy called Poku somewhere else. Let me check. Who's the other Poku? Or maybe I'm tripping. Who's the other Poku? Ernest Poku. Plays for AZ. That's who I thought it was at first. Was it loan at Rangers? See the Sadiq. It's not Ibrahim Sadiq. What the hell's his name? Maybe it is Ibrahim. I've watched him so much in La Liga. He is terrible. But he's just got this knack of being able to score worldies. And he's got a huge big frame. Quite strong. And his raw attributes, pace and strength are like very eye-catching. But that guy misses 5 sitters for every worldie he scores. He's an absolute nightmare. Sadiq, do not rate him. No, that's no need to apologise. Celtic fan, I love the breaking news. I just got the wrong end of the stick. I'm not too up on championship players. I kind of need to investigate them whenever the links come up. It's not going to happen, mate. The takeover is not going to happen. I've been saying it since day dot. The thing with these takeovers, right, especially Americans, right, is they don't want to float the boat. right? So they don't want to buy a football team and have to float the whole operation, fill the bank balance, grease the wheels, pay for all the transfers, clear up the debt that they've got, etc. They want to come into clubs and spend some money, but they want the levers is the kind of term, the financial levers that they have available to themselves that they've otherwise maybe not utilized or maximized to help them float the boat. Rangers don't have any financial mechanisms or any financial levers to float the boat. They're in dire straits, and I really just don't think they're going to come in and want the expense. It's just so expensive. You look at Tony Bloom paying 9 million quid for a third of Hearts. If you are the 49ers, why would you pay, let's just say, treble that for half of Rangers to then have to continuously invest that basically same amount of money for maybe the next 3 years? Why not just buy Aberdeen or buy St Mirren? How much would St Mirren be to buy? 5 million quid or something like that, and then just smash it, you know? So yeah, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I think they very could, Ewan, very much fit. You just need to look at the success of that Kabongu. One guy out of that network that they've got there. He's one of the best players in the league. What about from French second division? Umar Sadiq is Celt88. Well done. We covered the French second division in the scouting series. We looked at France and we went into Ligue 2. Ligue 2 has a lot of talents in it. Scouting video is coming out today. It's uploading now. The upload will be finished in 3 minutes. And then I just need to do a description and tags. So it'll be out as soon as I finish with you guys here. Basically, it's ready to go now. So let me just finish clicking these buttons so it can render fully. But yeah, literally, I'll tell you what I'll do for you guys is like a minute before I finish this stream, I'll turn the scouting video live and then I'll go in the background and do all the crap I need to do, typing stuff and whatever, once you guys are actually checking it out for yourselves. Save, right? Awesome. So yeah, it'll be out today. And there's just all the stuff that they've got, you know. They don't own the training ground either, technically. Is it not David Murray that still owns the training ground? That's why they managed to keep it this whole time. The Amrabat guy, honestly, like I had such fun making fun of Man United fans for thinking he was going to be their missing piece, their saviour. He's very overrated for me. Now, for today's video, the J and the K League is on the agenda because you guys want to see it. We will do a scouting video for them. It won't be next week, of course, because of the stream we're doing. But I had a glance, a kind of cursory, like, okay, who do I know that's cooking before I go and talk to some sources I've got over that way. And there wasn't much meat on the bones, by the way. There wasn't much. The thing with the K League is you kind of need to know who's done their military service because the guys that have not done their military service, European teams just don't touch them. So yeah, there's 2 Amrabats here, right? Sofian is the midfielder one at Fenerbahce, I'm sure, the Man United guy. Did well in the World Cup for Morocco or whatever, and he was at Fiorentina. Anyway, but with this defense being really tight and compact, and then having ball players here, I think this is off the ball for them. It's going to very much look much more like a 4-4-2 kind of effort, or 4-4-1-1, where it's going to be about pace and transition. They're going to be expecting, Hatate to be the press, Engels to be swinging up and down the right here, Ali Johnson to be penetrating through this way, and Taylor to be tucking inside here. And if this is the way they're expecting us to shape up, the guy is going to be trying to peel into any pocket he can if these wingers don't do it for themselves. And this is the thing about Aberdeen is their bench isn't like amazing, but they don't lose much from their bench. So see when they make their double sub and they bring on Okles and Daba, or they bring on, whoever else they've got at their disposal, their level doesn't drop that much, really, in the grand scheme of things. So I think they're going to be quite difficult to beat. I think we're going to really need to be on our A game. I don't think Rodgers is going to take it lightly. And, like when they are like in full flow attacking us as well, having these types of guys in the box, all quite physical, with the exception of Kiskinen, could be quite much for us to handle, by the way. Like defending in our own box, like when it's been a counter-attack or against the run of play, perhaps, when you've got guys like Palaversa and Clarkson maybe knitting the play, I don't think Shinnie's going to be really supporting much in overload. So maybe it's much more of a right-hand focus for them. which wouldn't surprise me if there's no Dyson and we play Taylor, who's probably going to do wild card. They might focus a lot more down the right-hand side for themselves. And like I say, I think the main thing for Rodgers, looking at the way Aberdeen are likely to set up and their game plan, is going to be get the job done first, and then we'll do all the slice of life stuff later. Get the youth players on, get Jimmy on for his 16th goal. But it's going to be about business first, get the job done, and then from there go on and attack. I think Hatate normally does quite well at Pittodrie. We've seen him score, I think, twice already this season. And again, the way this midfield is, I'm not worried about. This could be a really good game for Engels, by the way, because Palaversa isn't a weak player, but he's not like some of these hatchet men CDMs that are in other teams, and they're not super defensive minded, these midfielders. So this could be quite a good game for Engels to maybe put some muscle on the game and to really show his prowess at this level. It's probably the way I would put it. What one are we talking about here? You've totally lost me. Ibrahim Sadiq, is that who you're talking about? Tommy 55, help me get up to speed with you, buddy. And yeah, Big Dom, you're right. The team without Maeda will be very interesting, and I think that's why you need Yang to start. He's got a bit of that tempo. Is the team announced? Oh, by the way, the team might be announced. I don't think so. This is me just previewing it. I don't think the kickoff, or maybe I've mistimed it, but I didn't think with kickoffs and that this would cross over with that. No, the team's not out yet. When's kickoff? Is it all at 8 o'clock or something? Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. So teams will be out 7:15. Another 10 minutes. Am I tripping? No, the kickoffs, you don't get it. It's not 2 hours before the game. 6:45? Yeah. Aye, that's what I think. An hour away. So there was a guy in League Two that I liked that was 6'7". He's now in Germany. His name's Skelly Alvaro. And he was in the Bundesliga video that we covered, Tommy. Yeah, I can see it, Typhoon. Plus, especially if Shinnie is a fullback. You know what his job is? Take Kuhn out of the final. Get Ida out of the final, and we're hiding Dyson from these hatchets. You can tell that already. Maybe we need to hide Tate from them as well. I don't know. But yeah, definitely a great point there. I'd love to see Yang, Forrest, and Ida start. Yeah, I could. It's not out of the realms of possibility, considering Shinnie might play left back. Maybe just keep Kuhn away from him. But I don't know. I don't know about that. I think Kenny would be more likely to start than Yang and Forrest. You know who Scaldini is. No, don't kid on. Now, do I think Celtic could get a clean sheet in this game? I think we could. Are we? Let's just look at that head-to-head one more time. So let's see. This season, we've had, out of the 4 games this season, we have had 2 clean sheets and we have conceded 3 goals in the other 2 games. If we look at our record at Pittodrie for a moment, and I know you have not got this screen, I beg your pardon, but so we have had a clean sheet twice in the last 5 meetings there. So I think Aberdeen are good for a goal in this one. Yeah, and before that, we've not had a clean sheet in forever. So I think Aberdeen scored here. Do they score first? That'll be quite an interesting kind of note in the match. Who gets the first goal? Not too sure if it'll be them or us. Hopefully it's us. But I think Aberdeen will get a goal by hook or by crook somehow in this game. Just with the motivation they've got in the match, we are rotating. Some of you guys think they'll rotate. I think this is the team to go for, and I think this is quite close to full strength for them. So I think they score. How many do we score? With Dyson not in the team, I find it quite hard to be super optimistic about breaking 3 and 4. Ida's going to score in this game. Of that, I think there's no question. I think we can get a goal from midfield, and then between Kuhn or Forrest, I think this is like a 2-1 win. Maybe if we're kind of on our game still, the sun is shining midweek, we've got a wee bit of, wind under our wings, if that's the way of putting it. We could be winning this 3-1, 3-2. But I think 3 goals is probably our ceiling in this one. And I think Aberdeen are going to be around the 1 or 2 goal kind of mark yet. So I'm going to go Do I think it'll be comfortable or tight? I think it will be tight. I'm going to go for Celtic to win this 3-2. I don't know if it's going to be an enjoyable match in that sense where it's like, oh, 3-0 and it's nice and comfy. I think this will be quite a tight game. I think Aberdeen have got a lot to play for, a lot more than maybe some of us are giving them credit. And this guy was very formidable in spells this season. He struggled with injury in his back end. And I think the Jimmy Talleen model of the game of two halves will work for them. They'll get a goal in the first half. They'll get a goal in the second half. Yeah. I'm going to go for Celtic. Here's the team. Actual? Is that just your team? Somebody's son. I googled it. I don't know what that means. The chat has ran away from me. Guys, we're absolutely fine here. Smash the like button if you haven't done so already. And yeah, I think I'm going to go with Celtic to win this 3-2. And how is the game going to go in terms of who's going to be the headline maker? Now, if this is the starting 11, I'm going to check the Celtic Twitter again because you guys are freaking me out with your team news here, making me think it's coming out now. And it's not, so that's fine. Maybe there's a leak or something, fine, but no officials yet. Then I think this could be a great game for Engels to really write the headlines. You know, show a bit of strength in the midfield, show a bit of drive, and, you know, be influential in us getting our hands on the wheel, as it were. It will be really interesting to see the starting lineup. Could be a good game for Kuhn as well, because remember, when we first signed Kuhn, when everyone was still kind of, oh, this guy's not worth it, he's shite and whatever, he scored quite a fluky goal, but he scored and had one of his better performances last season away at Pittodrie. So, and that too, Graham, you're spot on. The psychological effect of, you know, they drew with us in the league and then we went in the League Cup and battered them for 6. They will have some demons to exercise on that front. So I'm totally with you there. It's going to be tight, guys. It's going to be tight. You're talking to Pat. So where's Pat's comment? I don't mind it, guys. I love it, but I just I feel bad if I'm not keeping up. But yeah, I can't even see Pat's comment there. But yeah, they'll have some demons to exercise. I think Engels can get a good case for writing the headlines in this one. Out of the known elements, I'm probably going to say Adam Ida is my shout, my hunch for headline maker. Kenny is going to get what, the last 10, the last 15 if he doesn't start the game. Maybe a bit more if we get, 2-1 up, 3-1 up or something like that, depending on how the game goes. Maybe he gets a few more minutes. But Ida's got a real credible shot of being a headline maker here, scoring the goals, putting the, finishing off the moves. And if we do score 3, I wouldn't be that surprised if he got all of them. We want Jimmy to get one. I think we all know that. But yeah, I think Ida's my shout for headline maker for man of the match. I'm holding Engels in reserve in case he starts and in case he doesn't, kind of thing. Now, guys, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to flip live on this week's scouting video in like 2 seconds, okay? I'll then need to go back and tart it up a bit with the description and the title and whatever. I'll fix it a bit better. But I'm going to flip it live kind of the now. So if you want to go and check that out before the game, you can. That means we've still got it out between 5 and 6 on a Wednesday, which is a wee roll of release times I've wanted to keep going. Now, when I end this stream, the comment section opens up, the live chat goes away. The comment section is where you leave your receipts on the internet. In the comment section of the stream, once it's not a stream and it turns into a video, we're not live anymore. I want to see your score predictions. I want to see your headline maker, your man of the match shouts, as well as any other thoughts and feelings coming into the game as well. I've had a great fun with you guys. You guys are really engaging fantastically well with the live content we're doing it when we're doing it. And I'll do my best to keep all of that up, as well as the regular uploads for the different series that we've got running on the channel. The scouting video is live now, so you can feel free to go and check that out before the game. If you're going to the game, travel safe, always have a great time. And the next video, we'll be back tomorrow to break down this game, and then we'll be back Friday to preview the St Mirren game. And then the last 2 trophy days, guys, I've been on site for Celtic here. in the Trongate, in Merchant City, going through the crowd and everything. So I'll be back there again this weekend. So plenty of content to stay tuned for. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the scouting video that's just went live as well. Hail, hail, and on the hoops.